Hey guys, David here and welcome to the Fit Pro Daily. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about spinning a number of plates. So if you as a fitness business owner are doing multiple things within the fitness business, whether it's also running in multiple companies or you've got so much going on in your life, then today's episode is going to be the one for you. Shane is going to come on and share his experience and his knowledge in running and doing multiple things, whether it's his business ventures, whether it's PhD, whether it's family, whether it's all the other stuff that he's going on. He explains and gives us a great idea into how to manage our time better, how he does it, and how he's been so successful. Plus, he gives us a good breakdown on business stuff that we need to consider, some of the things we should be outsourcing, some of the things we really should be focused on the most to make sure that we are growing. But before I do dive into this week's episode, if you haven't already joined us inside our free group, head over to Facebook, search for Fit Pro Lead Gen with Dave, request to join and get access to even more guides, downloads, guest interviews, and much more. Anyway, let's dive into this week's guest interview. Hey guys, David here and welcome to another episode. This week we're talking to a returning guest, Shane. Shane, how's it going, my friend?
All good, not too bad at all. How are you?
Good man. You know what? When I put the call out there, I need a couple more guest interviews booked in for the next couple of weeks. We always get one hand raised all the time, and it's always Shane. So cheers for helping us out again. Yeah, probably a lot has changed or a lot of updates has happened, I'm guessing, in your business since the last time we spoke and stuff. So it'd be good to kind of go over some of those stuff that's kind of been developing and all that type of stuff. But one of the big things I kind of want to cover today, and something I literally just mentioned about that I was down at the gym today, was about spinning many plates, about like, maybe you've got your studio, but you've got your family as well. And maybe you've got a little side hustle going on at the same time. And maybe you're helping coach a football team and you've got loads of different stuff on, like some of the stuff that you've learned and the way you've managed to do it as well for yourself. But for anybody who doesn't know who Shane is, maybe in like just 1 minute, like really quickly, who is Shane?
No worries. So I'm the owner of Quantum Nutrition. I'm a nutritionist. So for years, basically my whole life's been dedicated to nutrition. And, you know, I'm a graduate of the International Olympic Committee. I'm doing my PhD at the minute, part-time as well. And we basically help thousands of people worldwide learn about nutrition for life in a nutshell. So hopefully that's nice and condensed for you. We could talk about a million different things, but yeah, I think that's probably a decent summary.
Nice. Just quickly then take us back to what you did pre-fitness business, because I'm guessing a lot of people might be watching this now who are just getting into the fitness industry. They're maybe just getting qualified or they're thinking of jumping in. Kind of what was your transition into the fitness industry?
Yeah, so basically, again, you know, I've been studying for years and years, and that's basically been the starting point. You know, I started studying nutrition in my degree, started working with athletes, and then went on to work with the International Olympic Committee and so on and so forth. And then all this was done part-time whilst I had a full-time job. You know, everybody's got to pay the bills, so whilst I was studying, I was doing that at the same time. And then from there, you know, it just got to the point where, you know, I had a bit of a decision to make because, you know, part-time PhDs and things like that don't come up too often. So I was either going to leave my job and go and do a PhD, or, you know, do something I've always wanted to do, which ultimately was what I would have done anyway, even if I had finished a PhD. And it's starting up my own business. It's something that I've always wanted to do. So, you know, it got to the stage where I was working part-time on creating the business and working full-time. I wasn't doing any studying at the time. So cut a long story short, you know, I was working with a business mentor and we ended up going to an event in, I think it was in Bath, wasn't it? And yeah, that was the interesting day because I ended up going up on stage and leaving my job on stage. So that sort of made the decision for me, if you like. But yeah, so from there, you know, it just transitioned across from obviously full-time work, handing my notice in, and then literally just going all in on the business and you know, having a super steep learning curve from there, really, you know, especially on the sales front, because you know, mortgage and stuff needed paying that month, and there wasn't too much money in the bank at the time. So again, massively steep learning curve. You have to get some sales in the bag ASAP, otherwise we lose the house and stuff like that.
Okay, so that's quite an interesting point, again, especially for beginners who are just getting started. You mentioned mortgages to pay, no real money in the bank and stuff. What gave you the confidence? What was it that kind of said, you know what, you're not going to fail. This is going to be a success, from leaving a full-time, regular, easy payment job to now having to bring all the money in yourself?
I think, you know, I'm just really confident in my own ability. You know, again, I don't want to sound like a big, massive ego head or something, but I'm, you know, if I want to go out and do something, then you know, I absolutely give it my all, 100%. And you know, obviously, when you have the negative incentive of losing your family house that you've just bought, that's an added layer of pressure to, but it's like good pressure, you know. That's exactly what I needed, really, like a massive kick up the arse to go, right, that's it now. There's you know, you're burning your bridges or whatever, and that's it. You've got to make it work. I'd done a bit of sales before in different capacities as well. I used to work for Comet, and, like, you know, selling TVs and laptops and things like that. So, you know, I have had some sales experience before, and I just thought, you know what, let's put it to the test, like, but in a real life situation. And you know, it's I can't stress enough, it's something I've always wanted to do. That's like the biggest thing. You know, it's like you know, a Premiership footballer or something like that, playing football like since they could walk, and then getting to the point where they go, no, we're going to go all in on football. It's like, that's what the purpose in life is, if you get them in. That's how I see it for me, really, to, you know, spread the message about what we do and the science that we've learned and all that stuff, and get it out to as many people as possible. So yeah, I suppose it's just like, you know, absolutely all in on that goal, really. So yeah, it's a bit of a combination of things, but just, you know, massive confidence that it, you know, that we could make it work, definitely. But still, nothing's guaranteed, obviously.
Nice. Okay, so during even just the first 6 minutes, you've mentioned one word a number of times now, and that is sales, or learning to sell. So you're this nutrition specialist doing stuff at the Olympics or with the Olympic Committee and all this amazing stuff. Why was learning to sell such an important factor to be able to make sure this works in?
Well, again, you know, the single biggest thing is, if you don't sell, you don't have a business, you don't have money coming in. It's like, I put a post up about this last week. It was you know, all along the lines of, you know, it's like, it's the oxygen of your business. If you don't have sales coming in, there is, you know, you can be crap at accounting or like crap at social media or something. It doesn't, you know, you can get away with that. If you can't get away with not having sales, it fails. It's as simple as that. If you don't, and, you know, I'm good at sales. I'm not the best salesperson in the world, but, you know, even in that post, I mentioned that, you know, regardless of what happens to our business, I'll always be involved in sales in some way, shape, or form, even if it's like on a smaller scale. But, you know, there's been weekends where we're just sat, you know, watching Fireman Sam with Hugo or with Shay, and Hugo's asleep or something, and I'm like, I'm not really doing anything for an hour, so I'll get my phone out and I'll message like 25 different companies over that hour, and, you know, just reach out to people and have conversations. Is there anything we can do to help you right now? I've seen your post the other day, blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff, and seeing what's going on in people's businesses and if we can help them. And I don't have to do that. We've got a, you know, world-class salesperson on the team, but, you know, sales is that important that I'll never not be involved into some degree in the sales. You have to get it right. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's like a massive point. It's like one of the big things I think you know about it for us this year. We're going to take on our first full-time salesperson at FitPro Lead Gen, just because it can't always be on me. But like you said, you're always going to be in it. It's your business. You're always going to do whatever you can to make sure it's work. Absolutely. But yeah, sales is like, if you're not bringing new sales in, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so you've got 2 children. You're doing a PhD, you've got your own home, you've got your wife, you've got your quantum nutrition. I see you're doing some stuff with the Awakened Man. Again, that's something completely different. You're doing CrossFit. Lots of amazing. You post like 50 times a day on Facebook. You're always liking every single post I put up. So you're doing literally a million things, it seems like it. How is that kind of like even possible?
I think it's. I honestly, I get this. I don't want to sound like that guy. I get asked this all the time, but it really is. It's something that comes up all the time. It's like, everybody assumes that like I've that there's. I'm super stressed all the time. There's loads going on. The calendar's absolutely jam packed, and it's not. Right now there's a peak in workloads, definitely, but it's not like standard practice. So you've got to understand that, like, there's other people out there that own like 300 companies. Like, they haven't got 300 times the amount of calendar space in comparison to us. They just work differently. And as soon as you sort of set up as you mean to go on, it becomes a lot easier. And what I mean by that is, the company is set up so that it facilitates everything else that I want to do. I've always wanted to do a PhD. If you remember earlier, I was actually just going to go all in on just doing that, and you can get paid to do PhDs as well. So it would have been a very small salary, but at least I would have been paid to do the research and things like that. And that was a genuine option before leaving my job. And a couple of years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago now, I think it is. I got the opportunity to do my PhD part-time, and that was just like a dream come true. So within probably a few months maybe, there was somebody that I was speaking to, and they said, your company needs to change, and it needs to change so that you've got loads of time free to be able to do this, and also, like, have a family and stuff. Like, I don't really care about the PhD and work as much as I care about my family. So that's number one. I've been down playing with Shay half an hour ago, just like messing around and stuff. And it's like, I absolutely love that more than anything. So, you've just got to think, like, it's logically speaking, am I the only person in the world that has 4 or 5 focuses? Like I said, there's people out there that have hundreds and hundreds. You look at Elon Musk or Richard Branson or whatever, it's like they've got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of focuses. And it's through, being ridiculously well planned and mapped out, and delegating and having systems in place in the business and so on, so that, it doesn't have to be this all-encompassing thing, like where, everybody says, oh, I've got this business, but I do like, 60, 70 hours a week. That's something that you've set up. It's not, that hasn't happened to you. You've created that. The systems in your business need to change if you're not happy with that. So I just had to learn the hard way and got that opportunity. I thought, well, now it has to change. I can't just be working all hours God sends. And then we had kids as well. I was like, right, definitely needs to change now, and so on. So yeah, it's it's difficult, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you get really well planned and mapped out every single week, and make a massive list of everything that you need to do and put in priority order. And then, what bits can I delegate? And then maybe 25% of that to-do list gets taken care of straight away by the team. And then what needs doing right now, and it's really important, that gets taken care of straight away, and like so on and so forth. It's not really it's about planning all the time, making sure that every single week everything is mapped out, and there's sections in the calendar for the things that we want to achieve and the goals that we've had, and the rest is delegated to the team and systems and things like that.
Okay, so you've mentioned delegate then. So I'm taking we need to get a few employees on to kind of make our time better served and our business grow then.
Yeah, definitely. And again, you don't have to employ somebody. You can do that, but you can get like somebody in world class take care of your Facebook ads, for example, because I can't be asked to do it myself and I'm rubbish at it. So somebody like you has taken care of that for us for years now. So, and it's the same with everything. At one point I was submitting all my own tax returns and stuff, and I just hated it. I just couldn't think of anything worse than doing that. And you invest in an accountant, it's actually like a really, really important part of our business now. It's not just to submit the tax. Like there's financial planning in general, takes place through the accountants as well. Obviously, they save us a lot of money on them submitting it rather than us, and so it's like it's a no-brainer situation where, like, they're doing what they were put on the planet to do, and they're good at it and they enjoy it, and I'm having something taken off my plate that I hate and I'm rubbish at. It's like a double whammy, But it's the same with loads of things, like from sales to even the delivery of our services. It has to, again, we only have a certain amount of time in the day. So how do you get, more and more people helped? Like, if you grew from 100 clients to 1,000 clients in the next 6 months, you haven't got 10 times the amount of time available. You can't magic that. So how are you going to do that? You have to have systems and obviously a team in place to be able to deliver that to the same level. So, yeah, I think and every single business on the planet needs help. You can't do everything yourself.
Nice.
There's no business anywhere that does absolutely, literally everything themselves. You have to collaborate with people.
Cool.
Definitely.
So you are the one-man band Fit Pro out there then, who is wearing all these hats, all these different jobs that they need to do. In your view, what kind of would be the first position that you would get some support or help with?
I think probably an admin assistant straight away to begin with, because there's so many tasks that we do that can be done by anybody. And it takes up a lot of time, so think something like that, even just like booking appointments and things and booking sales calls and so on. And we send folders out to all of our clients, for example, and that takes up quite a lot of time to get those sent out, but anybody can do it. It's not like, it's not like a high skill related task or something. So something like that might save you 10 hours a week straight away. And in those 10 hours, if you book 5 sales calls each week, that's 20 sales calls every month, let's say, roughly. And let's say you sell 3 of those, happy days, another £300, £400, £500 a month is coming in. You might only be paying your your admin assistant, minimum wage or something, or a small amount per hour, whatever that is, because it's, simple stuff. And it just saves you so much time. It's like, it's a no-brainer situation again there. And then probably after that, again, it's debatable. It depends what it's hard to have like an answer that would be suitable for everybody, obviously. But I think something like sales, it providing that you hire the right person, again, they pay for themselves. You could have a situation where they're doing, if you've got a decent lead flow and things like that, they might be on like 20 sales calls a week in the first month. And out of that, they sell 10 of those. Straight away, their monthly salary is covered. Like it's literally a free add-on to your company, which obviously helps going forward as well. Whereas other positions, like we have like a team of 7 different dietitians and nutritionists, they don't pay for themselves. That's a different thing. You have to factor that in a bit differently. But admin and sales probably. But again, it just depends on your business and what your priorities are, what you're good at, what you're crap at, what you hate doing, what you love doing. And there's a bit of a mixture of everything really to decide that. But I think, if I had to say 2, it would be admin first and then sales after that. It just frees up so much time, and then the sales pays for itself as well, providing you've got good systems and good people.
Nice, yeah. And that was a great answer to that, because something I've written down here is how much you're valuing your time or for your hours. Like you said, if you can get an admin or assistant to come in to do the scheduling of your social media, to post out emails, to send those files in the post, and you can do sales consultations in those times, your time for that one person might have been £10 an hour, but you're going to spend that actual hour making a sale of £300, £400, £500, whatever your program is. So it pays for itself just to get that person in to do those admin jobs.
Definitely. And I think as well, like it has to happen as well. It depends on obviously what you want to do with your business in general. But, if you're wanting to grow and get to a location 2 and 3 and 4, think you've got like a growth thing that you're wanting to work towards. It's impossible to not get help and achieve those things. It's just not gonna happen. You can't deliver like 30 sessions a week, or what, I don't know, like whatever that number is generally in location 1, and then location 2 has another 30 and another 30 in location 3. It's like, seriously, you need it. There's lots of admin attached to that, lots of sales attached to that, lots of service delivery attached to that, even down to like registering the business and things, and like submitting your tax and blah blah blah. Like there's so much more stuff attached to growth. And you need help with that. You will get to a point where there's a bottleneck and you can't physically grow anymore because you're not getting help and you're doing it all yourself.
Okay, so we've talked about prioritizing your tasks at the end or start of a week or something, so you know what you need to focus on the most. We've talked about outsourcing or creating systems where we can bring other people on board or making your life easier for the jobs and stuff. Is there anything you've missed, you think, when it comes to spinning all these plates at the same time? Is there any hacks or any final tips on this particular kind of aspect?
I suppose the biggest thing for me is the planning element, because there are multiple plates spinning. So, I think when I have a chat with people, generally, like over the years, they sort of go through their week seeing what happens. If you get me, that it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right through to Sunday, and there's been no focus or direction or trying to aim for something. It's just like the emails come in and you respond to those, and like let's see what happens this week. It can't really work like that if you're wanting to grow and do amazing things. So like every Saturday or Sunday, like over the weekend, generally, like I'll sit down again, like I said earlier on, I'll note down everything that I want to achieve or everything that needs work this coming week. So it could be team training, catching up with the team, jumping on calls, checking in with clients. It could be service delivery, PhD research. I've got to read loads of papers or submit a deadline, and then there's stuff to do with the kids. It was a nightmare at the weekend getting the kids' haircuts and stuff. They wouldn't sit still and crying and all that stuff. That stuff needs to go in the diary too. So, if there's hundreds and hundreds of things that you're wanting to get done each month, then that needs mapping out properly and prioritizing as well. So, firstly, I set out a list of whatever I need to do, and then there's like a little grid that I put. So, like a grid with like 4 boxes. So in order of like time and priority, like how time sensitive it is and what the biggest priority is. So anything that's got like really time sensitive, like it needs doing ASAP and it's very important, goes in the top right box, and then so on and so forth. And then that creates that, because you can be overwhelmed with like 100 things on the to-do list. So you need to prioritize those things, and then those go in the calendar from there in like a logical order. So that's literally something that I've done every single weekend for 5 years probably. So it's a hugely important thing, and it becomes even more necessary when you're spinning multiple plates. That things just don't get done or don't work well if you've not got that planning in place, definitely.
Nice. Okay, so to not have to drag this episode on, because we all know how busy you are from what you've just been saying, and you've just mentioned 5 years as well. The final bit we had in the title is what you've learned in business so far, and you say roughly 5 years, so you must have been going around 5 years, maybe a little bit longer. So what kind of things have you learned over the last 5 years in business, from beginner stuff to complex stuff to even things you thought, I didn't even know I'd need to even do that?
Yeah, again, it'd be amazing if we had like a 5-hour session there or something. But I think one of the big things in business is like, things are going to go wrong. Like, that happens to every single business owner, and like how you react to those situations is really, really important. And also like how you perceive the situation, because some people can go through like a challenge or a problem and they literally just lose their marbles like completely. Like they're just ridiculously overwhelmed. They fear the worst and so on. And one of the things that I'm really good at is responding proportionately to whatever that problem is. And also having a massively positive outlook, because we want to achieve amazing things. So that like working towards that target and that goal is really important to us. So all these challenges that come on board, like if you've got like a massive goal, it makes them seem a little bit more trivial, and it's like you can think, it's just another problem that we need to solve. Don't worry about it. Let's focus and we'll solve it. So yeah, I think people can waste a lot of time and energy on stress and worrying about things that in reality, it might just be a simple, easy fix. If you get somebody, you might be able to pay somebody a couple of £100 and solve that problem for you. If it's something, you're not getting sales through your funnel or something, it might be a landing page thing. You know me, like I don't know anything about that stuff. I need help with those things, and I think having a really good perspective on those problems is really important, because every single person, if you set up in business, you're not going to have a linear time. It's going to be up and down the whole time. That's your existence going forward in any business. So I think having a really cool, calm, and collected approach to solving those problems is like a really important thing. And I think that probably applies to everybody. But again, there's loads of stuff from sales to financial planning and doing a million and one other things that we could talk about, obviously, in more depth. But I think something like that is really important.
Okay. Nice. Three more. These are just real. You can answer these as fast or as complicated as you want. What's been the most challenging thing that you've had to go through in business so far?
Losing a third of our business in a week through the pandemic. That was like, as I said, that was unbelievably unusual times. We work with gym owners and fit pros. So, when the world closed because of the pandemic, so too did our subscriptions, that a lot of them were paused really or cancelled or their clients cancelled. So they had to cancel us, and understandably so. It was a complete freak of nature period of time really. So that was the most difficult period of time to cope with, definitely.
What's been the best part of running a fitness business?
Just doing loads of cool stuff that you would never do if you were employed. Like I was on a retreat 2 or 3 weeks ago with the Awakened Man group, and they put like an event on there, and it was out in Wales. And we like climbed Snowdon. We built these like tent things called an Anipi, and I'd like it was like a homemade sauna basically that people have been using for thousands of years, and so there's stuff like that, and then also going and speaking at events and things, and spending time with my family whenever I want. And so loads of stuff like that you just wouldn't normally get access to if you're working 9 till 5 in like I was before. I think those have been the coolest things really.
Okay, the final one. I'm not sure if you can tell us. What is the future plans?
So right now my PhD research is within the area of workplace wellness. So that research is going to be working concurrently with the next moves with the business. So we're going to be working with companies, from banks to supermarkets to large companies basically. And we've got 6, maybe 7 that are looking as though they're going to go across the line relatively soon as well. And they're like quite big companies. So that's really exciting, but nothing's happened just yet because the sales cycle's a bit longer. So we'll see what happens there. We want to go into primary schools as well, definitely. That was one of the first things I ever did. When I was working full time, we ran programs in primary schools as well. So we'd absolutely love to get back into that too. And then there's a few other cool things, but we'll release those when the time's ready.
Nice. Shane, appreciate you coming on today. So if anybody is watching or listening now or in the future and they want to know more about nutrition or just even business in general, how could people reach out and have a chat with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook. So it's my Facebook, if you want to search for it, is Shane and then the letter J, Nugent. And then there's MSC afterwards. So that you're going straight through to me there. And then obviously there's the Quantum Nutrition page. We've got a free group for fit pros to help them with their client nutrition as well, with loads of freebies and stuff in there. So you're more than welcome to jump in our free Facebook group too. I don't know if you can send a link or something, maybe, Dave.
Yeah, we'll pass it. We'll pass it when it's get released.
Yeah. Sam. So there's a few ways there. But yeah, always happy to help. There's only a couple of weeks ago I was on the call to 2 different business owners who were just setting up, and they were like brand new. And I'm always happy to help because I needed loads of help when I was setting up. People got on the calls for nothing, when I need help the most. So I'm always happy to help where I can, providing there's not like deadlines or anything that week or whatever. But other than that, always happy to help.
No worries, Shane. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for coming on, and we'll probably see you further down the line in another couple of months to see how far and how things have developed as well.
No worries at all. Happy days.
Appreciate it, Shane. Thanks for coming on. We'll speak to you soon.
You're very welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that was Shane giving us a great breakdown into how he runs his fitness business or his nutrition company, how he's been able to run and spin a number of plates at the same time, good breakdown on sales and the most important things we need to really focus on in our business, and much much more. As Shane was saying, if you do want to reach out to him, just search for Shane Nugent on Facebook and drop him a message, but I'll leave it there for today. If you have any comments or anything else you would like to know, just reach out and leave us a note in the comments, and I'll speak to you all next week. Cheers.